All right, today we're going to be doing something similar to what we did yesterday with one difference. Yesterday we were adding and subtracting fractions um, that were just fractions. Today we're adding whole numbers to those. So let's talk about how we're going to do these. Let's take a look at the first example here. I did write down steps so you can follow the steps as we go. The first one here, example 1, says 3 4/5 plus 4 2/5. First thing I want to do is add the whole numbers. Okay, so we're going to have 3 plus 4. Yes, which does give us 7. Now remember, if you see anything up here on this screen, you need to have them copied down in your notes. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add our fractions, which remember, when we're adding fractions, we have to have common denominators. Now this one already has a common denominator, so we don't have to do anything else to fix that. So we're going to have our 4/5 plus our 2/5. Yes, that's going to give us 6/5. Remember, your denominator stays the same. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and simplify this 6/5 right now. Remember, to do that, we divide up. So we're going to have 6 divided by 5. 5 goes into 6 one time. Give us a leftover of 1. Now remember, we put our remainder over the number that I divided by, so this is going to be 1 1/5. Then we have to add that back to our 7 up here. 8 1/5 is going to be our final answer. It is pretty simple, as long as you do it one step at a time. If you try to jump ahead of yourself, you're going to get it wrong because you're going to miss one of the important parts. Okay, any questions on that? Yes, ma'am? Well, the next one has steps because we don't have a common denominator on this one. Okay, so we have to find a common denominator for these first. What is going to be a common denominator for 15 and 6? Yes. Yeah, 30 would be a great one. Okay, so what is 1 2/15 going to become? It's going to become 1 and, yes, 4/30. How do we know that? That's right. 15 times 2 is 30, so 2 times 2 is 4. All right, what about 7? What is 7 going to become? Yeah, 5 over 30, because 6 times 5 is 30, and 1 times 5 is 5. All right, now we can add our whole numbers up. So we'd have our 1 plus 7, which gives us our 8. Now we need to add our fractions. So I'm going to take our fractions with our common denominators. 4 plus 5 is 9. Denominator stays the same. So that's going to be 8 and 9/30. Now, are we done? No. Yeah, because we can simplify that. What is 8 and 9/30 going to simplify to? Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, it's going to be 8 and 3/10. Now, how do we know that? Well, because 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 30 divided by 3 is 10. All right, let's move on to example 3. Now, example 3 is going to be a little bit different because we are subtracting, whereas the other two we were adding. It's not that big of a deal, though. The first thing we're going to do on these is to see if we have common denominators, which we do. Then the next thing that I would do is I would look to see if this number over here on the right side is smaller than the number on the left side. As long as it is, we can continue on. If not, we will have to borrow from our whole number, which we don't have to do that today, so we can move on. Okay, let's subtract our whole numbers. 10 minus 4. Yes. Okay, now we have to subtract our fractions. We're going to subtract our numerators, keep the denominators the same. So we're going to have our 7/9 minus our 2/9. Yes, which does give us 5/9. And then I can, well, can I simplify that one? No, 6 and 5/9 is in lowest terms. All right, any questions on any of those so far? No? All right, then let's take a look at our final example. Number 4, again, we are subtracting, but I notice I don't have common denominator, so that's the first thing I need to do. What is a common denominator going to be for 8 and 24? 24, that's right. So our 12 is going to become 12 and 7/8 is going to become 12 and something over 24 minus 5 and 17 over 24. All right, what is 12? What is that? What is our fraction going to become there that's touching the 12? Yeah, 21, because 8 times 3 is 24, 7 times 3 is 21. Okay, now I can subtract my whole numbers. So I'm going to have 12 minus 5, which gives us 7. Now I subtract my fractions. So I'm going to have my 12 over 24 minus, or excuse me, I guess it should be 21 over 24. I don't know what I'm doing here. Sorry. That should be 21 over 24 minus 17 over 24. Well, what's 21 minus 17? Yep, so it's going to be 4 over 24. Now I have to bring my 7 back down here. So I'm going to have 7 and 4 over 24. Well, what is that going to simplify to? Yeah, 1/6. So this is going to be 7 and 1/6. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my final answer. Questions on that? Yes, sir? Okay. Yes, that's exactly what you would do if you end up with a numerator and denominator that are equal, like 7 over 7. That does equal 1, so you just add that to your whole number and you wouldn't necessarily have a fraction after that. Okay? That's correct. All right. Well, let's get to work.